All right. Well, great afternoon, great morning, great evening, whatever time you're actually listening to this. Welcome to the 8 weeks of mental freedom. This is something that I've created for everyone. It's not through Big Sky. This is not something I'm required to do. This is something I'm devoted to doing, especially for every single one of you individuals who are actually working with me. The one thing I will say is if you find this valuable, send me some feedback. Feedback is always welcome. Or if you find some key points that really stood out to you, just send me the feedback. Let me know, that way I can start creating more of these content tailored around some of the things that be really helpful for you. Or if you have any certain ideas or topics you want me to go over, discuss, I'm going to skim through all the 8 weeks that I have to see where I can actually input those. Or if not, I'm going to try to also create another one after the 8 weeks. So that way, all of your questions are answered. And one of the reasons why I created this, because especially with having a team training, a lot of team trainings, there's not a lot of time to go over certain things or more personal things. So I just wanted to create something where it gets a little bit more personal, dives a little bit deeper into some of the questions you may already have. This is more based on all of my years of experience and some of the things that really has stood out to many individuals to help transform not just the results, but just the lifestyle overall, right? And so mental freedom, main things, these are some of the key concepts you'll see here. We're going to be talking about a few things that are related to fitness, mindset, how it also relates to your finance. Believe it or not, it is tied together. Relationships and also freedom, because discipline is the bridge between goals and your accomplishment. Right? If you remain persistent, those who may remain persistent will, over the course of time, achieve their results. And there's a great book that's been written. Which is Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich, chapter 9, is based on persistence. Persistence always wins. And so for the first one we're going to go over is why most people don't actually reach their goals. And the number one focus for here, as you see down here, is building awareness, not perfection. A lot of what I'm going to go over today is more to help you increase your level of awareness, because you can't change those things you are just not aware of, right? You can't improve your relationships if you don't know what needs to change. You can't improve your fitness results if you don't become aware of what needs to change. You can't even improve in your finances if you are not aware of where your money is actually flowing. So the same concept applies to every spectrum, every concept of life, right? Especially with calories. You can't know if you're losing weight if you don't know what the calories in and the calories the calories out are. So again, it's more based on being able to create awareness. So we don't fail because we lack information. We have ChatGPT, we have Google. There's so much information out there. We fail because we repeat yesterday's habits and we repeat those habits tomorrow, right? So habits are ingrained in our subconscious mind. These are also belief systems. Habits are automatic systems that occur without our conscious knowing. And so one of the reasons why we need to increase our level of awareness is because now we become more consciously aware. For example, everybody has a different routine in the morning, right? You wake up in the morning, hopefully you brush your teeth. Yeah, you can laugh, that's okay. Some of you may shower in the morning. Some of you may just roll out of bed. Maybe the first thing you do is get your cup of coffee. Maybe the first thing you do is jump in the shower. Whatever your routine is, you have an automatic routine every single day. From where you drive when you go to work, to how you drive when you go to work, to driving back home. There's a specific road, there's a specific route that you actually take. Those are all automatic. Those are habits. And so 40 to 45% of what we do is automatic. And I want to say that I think that number is way too low. Most of what we do is automatic. For God's sake, now we have subscriptions where it tells us what's the next best show to watch. Those things are all automatic. So we live in a world of automation to the point where we don't have to think. But I tell you right now, if you don't think, your brain doesn't grow. We talk about that on a different day. On to the next one. So the next one, if it allows me to move on to the next one, let's see here. Next one is the habit loop. So this is something quite interesting that I found over years, that it helps with increasing awareness, right? Because let's go over the first one. First one is stress. So oftentimes when we experience stress, and that stress can be related to work, that stress can be related to maybe children, if you have any children, or maybe you're experiencing a stressful situation in your personal life. What's the number one source that most people cope or use to cope with stress? It's food. It's food. I've actually caught myself one time. I was dealing in a stressful situation. I had a project that I was working on, and I'm like so lost. I don't even know what to do. And I had a timeline, and it hit me like lightning. The first thing I gravitated towards was looking for sugar. And I caught myself and I go, oh my God, this is it. And it's a subconscious thing because now when the brain goes into flight or fight mode, it shuts down your digestive system, so you're not readily available to digest food. It shuts it down. The main thing it looks for is a spike of sugar, because sugar will continue to feed into that flight or fight state. Now what we know that is it's just a temporary relief. It's not going to give us a permanent relief. It's temporary. And so when we think about those things, and I asked you, build awareness, not perfection. Where are you looking for coping mechanisms in moments of stress? And the one thing I want you to do is say, huh, that's interesting. I never thought about that. Oh, huh. I just realized that I do X, Y, and Z. Huh. That's so cool. That's so interesting. And instead of just putting yourself down, labeling yourself and putting yourselves names, just become aware of it. Right? Just become aware of it. The more you become aware of it, the higher the chances are of change. The next one's gonna be bored. When people are bored, the main thing they gravitate towards is their phone, right? The phone creates a dopamine hit, makes them feel good about themselves, and start scrolling through social media. Next thing you know, they waste hours of their entire life. Or when you feel tired, guess what most people do? They gravitate towards coffee, or nowadays they gravitate towards energy drinks just to be able to increase your energy levels. But if you thought, just think about this, a 15 minute power nap can actually help increase your energy levels better than a lot of these energy drinks you'll find at the grocery store or at the convenience store or at the gas station that are full of junk. They're full of ingredients that increase the inflammation in your body. They disrupt your the host of your immune system, which is your gut microbiome, and they're just not the best thing for you. I always prefer to gravitate towards coffee. If you need a pre-workout, please just stick to coffee. On to the next one. So again, that's the habit loop. This is more to help you build awareness, not perfection, because awareness is what's going to help you improve the quality of your life. So I'm actually going to change. Let me see, 100%. Maybe that's the reason why. This is something that's so important. And the more I study the embody, which we're going to start doing a lot more embodies here within the next few weeks, the more I study the embody, the more I start to tell myself the exact same thing that I've been saying over the years has been proven. The scale is lying to you. It's lying to you. It's a liar. The reason why is because the scale just measures the gravity from the top to the bottom, right? The embody measures the change internally. And so when you think about it, when you lose 3 pounds of body fat, right? You lose 3 pounds of body fat and you gain 3 pounds of muscle. Does the number on the scale change? No, it does not. And so when we look at when we look at the number on the scale is lying to you. It's not telling you the entire story. The story are the changes that happen from within. Is your basal metabolic rate actually increasing? Your basal metabolic rate is how many calories you burn at rest while you're doing nothing. Even while I'm sitting here, because my internal processes, my organs, and everything that's going on in my body, the muscles, they all need calories or energy. Energy is measured in calories in order for me to stay alive. Now, if you gain 3 pounds of muscle, your energy expenditure increases, which means that your body needs more energy. It requires more energy. You're burning more energy. And you lose 3 pounds of body fat, you're still at the same weight. But that's not the true story. The true story is internally, your body is now transforming. You're starting to burn that body fat because now the body has increased in muscle mass. It has increased in how much energy it expends every single day. It increases how many calories you burn. So when I tell people Focus, if your goal is weight loss, don't focus to eat for weight loss. Eat to build muscle. If you eat to build muscle or sustain your muscle, forget about the weight loss. When you eat to build the muscle will do the job in eliminating the weight loss by shedding the body fat. And so this is why it's so important to focus on the in body. We're going to do a lot of these. Oh my God. And there's so much more behind the in body. Maybe I'll do another one on these. But again, the scale is lying to you. Don't just go based on the scale. If the scale is really important to you, and let's say overall you got to get the weight down, that's great. But the main numbers you want to track is body fat in pounds and muscle in pounds. So the reason why I bring a lot of this up, moving ahead here, is to help create curiosity over judgment. Oftentimes we hit ourselves, especially when we stand on the scale and we don't see anything move. The scale remains the same as we can see. Maybe internally your body's changing, but on the scale it says 0. You may feel like a fail or like a failure. And that's judgment, right? So how do we shift from the language that we use towards ourselves, or I failed, or I have no discipline? What's wrong with me? I'm such a loser. I can never commit to anything. How about we shift that language, right? Because judgment creates shame. And when you feel shameful about yourself, you're never going to move towards the things you actually desire. And the future you is banking on you to get past that stage. The future you is just waiting for you at the finish line, cheering you on for you to actually get to where you want to be. But we need to change our language if we want to get there, right? And so instead, this is where we build awareness is, what actually happened? Right? In business, we say the same thing. What actually happened? How could our results been different? What could we have done differently? Right? What got in my way? What got in the way? What do I need to change in order for me to actually improve? What can this is the most important one. What can I learn? What can I learn? Maybe I didn't prepare correctly, right? Maybe I missed it on Sundays, and instead of building a grocery list, I went through every single aisle. I wasted hours at the grocery store where I could have spent an hour at the gym, right? I went through every single aisle, purchased a whole bunch of processed foods because I didn't know what to eat. Instead, I should have contacted my coach and said, hey, do you have a grocery list or certain things that I can incorporate on my day to day in order for me to actually have something to prepare for the week? Because those things were sent out to you automatically by Big Sky, right? So again, build awareness, not perfection, because what you see isn't the whole picture. Oftentimes, is what's beneath, under the surface is the bigger picture, because results are visible, but the causes are actually hidden from within. The only thing we see above the surface, as you see here, is the weight, energy, which measured in calories, the mood. Sometimes you may not be in the mood. Sometimes you just don't feel like exercising. You don't feel like being around people, and that's okay. Maybe you had a stressful day. That's completely understandable. Or maybe your performance is not at its peak. That can also be correlated to your mood. It can also be correlated to your energy. If you have energy suckers in your life, that can be food or it can be people. Guess what? Your mood and your performance are going to be diminished. So lasting change comes when we address what's below the surface. And these are the things we need to correct. Oftentimes, we focus too much on the things that are above the surface that we never pay attention to the things below the surface. These things are your mindset. What kind of mental attitude are you approaching every single area of your life? Whether it's in your finances, whether it's in your home, your personal life, whether it's in your fitness, whether it's towards food. What's the mindset you have? And oftentimes, we grew up with certain belief systems, and those certain belief systems are sometimes what keeps us down. Those certain belief systems may be lying to you as well. And so when we start thinking about, what can I learn from this belief system? Where did this come from? Who came up with that? Right? You have certain belief systems. Who came up with that? Did you ever question certain things in your life and why certain things have to be done in a certain way? Like, who came up with that? Right? The habits we entertain. Ooh, this is a big one. The environment we're in. Do we have an environment that's conducive towards growth, or do we have an environment that's conducive towards stagnation? Often family and often friends will be the ones to actually influence our environment. And our environment can dictate where we actually end up in life. And then our identity. Who do you identify with? Or who do you identify as? Right? And one thing I will say, do you identify as a person that I can't, or the person as I can? It's a big difference in terms of the language you use towards yourself, because you can't improve what you won't acknowledge. And awareness is the first step towards transformation. And so this is going to be the last one. The last one is the cost of ignoring awareness. Jim Rohn, who's one of the greatest teachers of personal development, he was actually Tony Robbins' mentor. He said, the pain of discipline is temporary. The pain you suffer today is temporary. The long nights, maybe the long mornings when you got to wake up in the morning and get to the gym, guess what? That's all temporary because you're putting yourself outside of your comfort zone. That pain is temporary. The soreness you may experience from the exercise, or maybe when I give you an upgrade in your weights on those split squats that you solely love, right? That pain is temporary, but the pain of regret is permanent. The pain of regret is not just the temporary feeling or the emotion of having to get up in the morning or the soreness you feel. It's the heaviness that you feel in your heart of the what if, I could have, I should have, right? The pain of regret is permanent. And so 5 key points here, and I'm going to end it here. Time. Number 1, small issues today become big problems tomorrow, right? And so how are we addressing those? Are those things sucking up our time? Number 2, money. What costs you little now can cost you thousands later down the road. You know, I tell people this all the time. If you don't focus on, most people will see personal training, if you have the right coach, obviously. Most people will see it as just an expense. But we have to understand that health is wealth. It is an investment you make towards your future self. Because if you don't pay for it now and investing towards your health, you are darn sure going to pay later down the line in medical bills. And under the CDC, there's a statistic that states that 6 out of 10 Americans will come down to at least one chronic health condition in their entire lifetime. That can be stroke, cancer, heart attack. It can be high blood pressure, diabetes. It can be cholesterol issues. One of those. Now, we may see some of those like blood pressure, high blood pressure, cholesterol, and diabetes. We may see those things as just minor issues. But what did the previous one say? Small issues today become bigger problems tomorrow. And if we don't address those now, guess what? Those medical expenses, those co-pays, those medications that you're bound to take are also going to drain your wallet. So which one would you prefer? Would you prefer investing in your mind, body, and spirit today, or would you prefer spending that in medical expenses later down the road where, God forbid, you can barely walk? Maybe you feel so weak, you're out of breath walking up and down the stairs. Shoot, some of you even feel that today. And I'm sorry about being blunt, but guess what? Those are all dependent on the decisions that we've made over the course of time, but today those end now. Now, in the renewed mind and the spirit, you have full total control over the decisions you're going to make today and the decisions you're going to make in the future, because the old you has no room to fit into today's you. That today you is now being transformed by the information you're digesting today. Number 3, health. Neglected habits today steal your vitality tomorrow. So let's just kick those things to the curb. Those things you know that no longer serve you, get rid of them. There's no need to continue to latch on to these worldly things. Get rid of them. If they serve you no purpose, get rid of them. Number 4, mindset. Avoidance keeps you stuck in the same cycle. Oh my God. The more and more we continue to avoid the things we know we need to face, it's just waiting for you on the other side. Like, I'm just waiting for you. I'm just waiting for you to move. The results are there. The answers are there. I'm just waiting for you to stop avoiding the things you need to confront. Whew. Somebody needed to hear that. Number 5 is purpose. Unaddressed blind spots keep you from your next level. It's the same thing as the previous one, mindset. What are the same things you keep avoiding? And the only way we're going to address those blind spots is by raising our level of awareness, right? Where you don't face, you can't fix. Where you won't fix will limit you. And awareness is your power. Until next time, happy Sunday. Love you all.